Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Landscaping to the Point, where we're always on point. And we're going to have some great conversations here in the green industry and beyond, guys. So, welcome if you haven't been on the show. I'm your host, Scott, and my other host next to me is JC. We have one more other host, Josh. He's not in today because, like it says in the topic, Josh needs Wi-Fi. So, we're trying to get him a Wi-Fi if he needs Wi-Fi because he can never get on and stay on, guys. So, please help us out. Donate some money to us. Send us anything you can because he needs Wi-Fi really bad. Welcome in everybody on Instagram, Brightstone. Brightstone's on Instagram. Welcome in, Brightstone. How are you, buddy? One of our loyal followers. We got a whole bunch of them. Thank you guys for all following us and listening to us and watching us live sometimes when you can. So we are live on Instagram, YouTube. Sometimes we're on Facebook. Sometimes we're on Twitch also. If you guys ever go on Twitch and a whole bunch of other places, you can see us. You can even see us live if you have Spotify. You can go on Spotify. You can listen to us and you can watch us. So you've got both the best worlds that way if you want to. So, but definitely check us out anywhere you can. So it's been a hot week last week. So hot. I think I lost like probably 10 pounds in one day, dude. I really do. I don't know why, but I really do feel like I lost 10 pounds one day. That's how hot it is, and then you go home and you eat and all that stuff. So
yeah, it's definitely been muggy outside lately.
Thank you.
And it seems like it's getting darker out a little earlier, but yet the weather's still good.
Yeah, it's what 8:20. Brightstone says AOL dial-up is better connection than Josh's Wi-Fi. Yes, it is.
Very true.
What? I just heard that they're getting rid of AOL dial-up. So now Josh is going to be out. He really is.
I can't believe that some people still have dial-up.
I know. I heard somebody said that they're totally getting rid of it. And I'm like, what? I thought it was gone like 20 years ago. But yeah, it's supposedly, still around.
I wonder how much it costs. Is it less expensive than regular our internet now, or is it more expensive because there's less of it?
I have no idea. It says as of September 30th this year, after being around for 30 years, they're totally getting rid of it. Wow. I really thought it was gone. I really did with all this high speed and stuff. But I mean, there's probably people all over the world that still need dial-up,
Well, there are other countries in the world that have internet connection like 5 times faster than our fastest internet connection. And that's normal for them to have speeds that fast.
Right.
Like I think Japan is a country that has like ridiculously fast internet speed. Supposedly there's like their fastest is like they could download the entire Netflix catalog in 1 second.
Wow. Jeez, that's amazing. It really is amazing how all these different countries have different ways of getting on the internet, Did you ever have any problems when you were over in Japan getting on with your phone and everything, or?
No. So yeah, it was kind of weird because it was a new experience, of course, but you have to buy a SIM card.
Okay.
I mean, you could use your own cellular phone plan, but it'll be super expensive when you get back. So you buy like a SIM card and you pay. I think I paid like $40 or something like that, and you get high speed internet, unlimited for like 30 days or something. So it was relatively cheap. It took a while to set it up like with your phone settings, but I had no issues with connectivity anywhere. Even places where they said that the internet or the cell phone connection isn't that great, I never experienced any issues with it. And it was really cool because you depended on it because you're using translation, you're using GPS, you're using your browser and stuff like that, and your emails and your messages and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but it was fast. It was. I had zero problems.
Wow. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Brainstone says it seems to be cooler than past week in Florida. Um, the heat index is only 107 to 110 per day instead of 110 to 115 normally. So, I mean, yeah, it is cooler, but I think it's a little different with our heat index between them and us. So, I feel like we sweat more when our heat index is that high. I mean, I've been to Florida a couple times, but I mean, being up here, I feel like I don't know. I'd rather be up here than down there. That's all I gotta say. Sometimes, sorry, Brightstone.
I like the Florida heat, man. When I've gone to Florida, it's been during the summertime, and I do like it. Up here we get the humidity down there too, I think, but it's not bad. I do enjoy the heat. I bet you Pablo is struggling outside, and
Oh
he
yeah,
wears black when he does landscaping, which is to me is crazy. Like he's loyal to his brand so much that he
right.
wears his colors.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that is that is something. And I mean, he's head to toe black.
Head to
Um,
toe black. Yeah.
yep, yep. I mean, Lawn Father says it's been a hot summer. Yeah, it has been a hot summer. I think this whole year it's been up and down. I mean, we've had some cool days, but I mean, there's been a couple weeks probably that it's been really hot and humid up here, in Ohio. So I mean, but I hear all over the United States, it's been really hot for the last couple weeks. So I mean, especially down south. So I mean, it's got to be brutal on you when you're out there mowing every day and it's hot. I mean, I like, up here, at least we get a couple days in between sometimes. And I think that helps them break the monotony. I've been in business almost 30 years. And I tell you what, I've had a couple years that it's been really hot and it's brutal to work, because it dries out stuff. And
Mm.
then you're out there trying to do things and you can't do it because of the heat, and all that stuff. So yeah, this
It,
year's been a hot one, but you
It's
know,
you could tell though, despite the fact that like during the daytime it is hot and humid, sun's definitely out there. But
oh,
in the mornings it's been a lot cooler now, and in the evenings it's been a lot cooler. And for us that means um, grass growing season.
oh yeah.
So now it's time to start prepping for your overseeding, your core aerations, your final fertilizations of the year. You got some a lot of things to kind of look forward to when it comes to your business from that standpoint. And then before you know it, we'll be doing the fall cleanups and then the snow cleanups. So it comes on at a blink. It comes as fast as a blink of an eye.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, luckily up here, I mean, we've had a lot of rain too. So I mean, even though it's been hot, we've been getting that rain, where it's been keeping the grass green for us this year compared to the last couple of years. So that is pretty a good thing, to be able to keep going through and doing stuff that normally we wouldn't do at this time, or we'd have to skip. Like I was talking with my crew the other day, and I said, we're into August. We're almost middle of August right now, and I said we haven't skipped a yard yet. And at this time last year, we skipped a lot of yards. And I said, let's just hope that, with this heat, this humidity that we're getting, let's hope that we keep getting the rain on top of it, little by little, and it keeps it green to where we can continuously mow. And, that's a good thing to have. Lawn Father says it's not the temperature, it's the humidity and the temperature, a combination of the two that make you hot and you sweat so bad. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, there's many a days. Um, like I said, this week it was pretty hot on one of the days, and I think I sweated through my shirt twice before I even finished the job, and then get in the truck, and and you cool off in the truck because of the AC, but then you're right back out in it, and you're just like, man, I'm just soaked again, after the next job. So, uh, Brightstone says, "What did the lawnmower say to the annoying weed?" Hmm. Got any thoughts, JC?
Man, these are getting creative.
He is getting creative. I
Yeah.
like the answer to this one. So,
What did the
Okay.
lawnmower say to the annoying weed?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know.
All right. I'm taking you down blade by blade.
All right, I like that.
That's that was
That's
a good one. That
It's
was
like
a
a
good one.
that's like a mob boss type of threat.
Yeah. Yeah. That is like, that's something like, hey, I'm gonna take you down
Yeah.
blade by blade. Yeah. Yeah. I like that one,
I like
Brightstone.
that. It's
Very,
creative, man. It's nice.
yeah, very creative, Brightstone.
So,
Um,
so I gotta look at the topic today, and it says like we were just talking about earlier. Josh needs Wi-Fi, which I I kind of thought of a question when it based off of the title, and we were talking just a second ago about like 56K and all, dial up and all that stuff. When was the first time you got on the internet? Do you remember?
oh, the first time I got on the internet, I can probably give you about a yearage, and I'll tell you what, it was AOL dial-up. My parents had AOL dial-up, and that would be around 1992 ish. I want to say 92, 93.
Wow,
Um,
really?
yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
that's early for
yeah.
nobody
Oh,
had
yeah.
not a lot of people had internet during that time.
No, no. So I mean, it was a lot different. I mean, we had it. The only thing that sucked back then, and there's a difference between now and then, and and it's funny because sometimes my kids are like, "Oh, it's taking forever to come on. I got to get on the and get on the, log in and all that." And I'm like, "Dude, it's normal. Like, I'm used to sitting there turning it on AOL and like you walk away 15, 20 minutes before you actually got onto the internet so you could be like, okay, I can now browse or do whatever I got to do. So it's definitely a big thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I remember having to look up stuff for school my last senior year, and our high school where I was going actually got internet at that point. So literally, we were able to do stuff because I was in a commercial art program, and I was in charge of doing a lot of the computer work, and being able to get into be able to look on the internet was a lot different than just being able to see like, okay, well, how do I do this? But yeah, when did you first get on the internet, JC? Do you remember?
Yes and no, man. So in the early not or maybe mid to late 90s, it had to have been when like internet first came out. At least I wouldn't say first came out, but it was first like people started having access to it. My
Okay.
mom took my sister and I to a friend's house, and I remember like they were having their own conversation, doing their own thing, and then the husband had like an old Tandy style computer, like the blinking green or yellow and stuff like that. And he was showing us like this. It was email, and it was the first time I ever heard of email and knew what email was. And I don't remember exactly. It was something like I think it was like Duck, like Daffy Duck email or some type of email system or something. And it was just like very very simplified type of context on like a Tandy computer. But the first time I got internet, man, it had to have been in school. Um, Probably middle school, 95, 96 maybe. And then our family, my our family, we purchased our very first computer was an Apple Macintosh computer. Um, but
Okay.
we didn't have internet for that. Um, it was just a computer that we had, and I don't even think we knew what internet was. That was prior to discovering this.
I see.
And then I think, man, I had to have like gone on to like Yahoo. Like we were just talking about Yahoo, earlier.
Right.
It had to have been like Yahoo or something like that. And all I can remember, like early stages of eBay, remembering eBay,
Hmm.
like
Oh
First,
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, we had like a compact Presario computer, and
Nice.
we had AOL dial-up. So I think AOL was our first internet server. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Brightstone says the first time he was got internet was 92, 95 ish. So about the same time line as us. But he remembers getting the CDs from AOL with something like 50 free minutes or 50 free hours of dial-up interconnection. Yeah, I
Yep.
remember getting that to where you would get the CD in the mail, and you had to stick it in your thing, and then that's how you got onto the internet. Yeah, that was. I'll tell you what, that was definitely different. But I remember getting the CDs like all the time, and then after a while, I'd have these stack of CDs, and like, okay, what do I do with these CDs? Like, you'd
Yeah.
have to get
There
rid
was
of.
one too like that. It was a company called Net Zero.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I remember that because my parents actually switched, I think, towards like 95 or 96 to
yeah,
that.
it was like the first free internet browser, um, but it had ads. And the thing was, this is how weird it was, because I think you had to pay for internet from your internet provider, but you also had to pay AOL, if I'm not mistaken,
I
for a
think so.
subscription.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but you had to have some type of dial. I don't know. You had some type of dial. I might be mistaken, but that Net Zero I thought was free
right.
with ads or something.
Yeah, there was always something on that one. Can't remember totally on that, but it was always something. I mean, I remember just literally just getting on AOL and using up the minutes or the hours, and then just being like, okay, well, I got to get a new one. So I get a new one and get a whole new, you know, at that point we didn't have like Gmail and all that, so we didn't have like, I'd have different. I think I changed my AOL like multiple times. Once I had a you know email account, so it was nonstop getting changed because it was like, okay, I'm not paying for this. I'm not gonna pay the fee for it to continue. I want the free one.
See, like the weird thing with AOL was it was like an ecosystem of its own, because it
Yeah.
had, if you subscribe to AOL, you had AOL email, you had AOL Messenger, you had like the AOL chat, you had like different things in this program, and then you had the internet browser as well. But that was like the only company at the time that had its own little ecosystem
Oh
in
yeah.
that sense, instead of just having Internet Explorer and you browse the internet, search the internet.
Do you remember? Here we go. This is going way back. This is around that time. Do you remember Napster?
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Napster. Yep, yep.
Trying to download a CD off of Napster through AOL, dude. That just took forever, dude.
Yeah.
I remember that taking forever. I don't even know if Napster's still around, but like, man, that just took forever to do. And I think that was one of the things where I used to buy tons of CDs. Like a CD would come out, I'd buy a CD, and then Napster came out, and I'm like, man, I'm going to be able to download all these CDs I want. And I wasn't, you know, gonna have to worry about it, and wouldn't have to pay for it, because I just go buy a stack of CDs because my parents had the CD, ROM thing where it would write onto it. So I'm like, man, I'll be able to go ahead and get every CD I want. And then I was on there for hours, and my parents would be like, hey, I need to use a computer. Well, I need to get this CD downloaded, man. You're gonna have to wait, Dad. Like, I can't, He's like, I gotta get on there for work. And I'm like, you are not needing it for work. Yeah, I do. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I'd have to stop it. And then like I come back, and then I'd get, come back, try to get it. And then, oh, nope, I lose that whole song. So I'd have to redo the whole song all over again. So I kind of learned after a while, just be like, okay, I'm going to download one song at a time, and then, get to the right song that I want. And man, that just took forever. I mean, Napster was, I think that was one of the biggest scams, I think, at that point, but it was like, that was one of the ways to get the music. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we used to buy the blank CDs, and like sometimes like you'd burn the CD burner. That's what I think
yeah,
it was, a CD burner.
yeah,
And like sometimes it wouldn't do it right, so
a
you'd
whole
ruin a CD. You
CD.
have to the whole CD would be ruined. You have to do it again because you couldn't burn it. Um, yeah, it's kind of crazy because like Napster kind of started like all this like file sharing stuff. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Like people, when Napster came out, the industry didn't know what to do. They're
yeah,
like, like what's going on? Like people were afraid of it. Like like musicians were like, man, we're gonna lose all our money because people are sharing our music, and they were pissed off. They
Oh yeah.
block Napster and all this stuff, and then but I think afterwards, like they got shut down per se, or sued, or told to stop,
Something.
and
Yeah, I remember that.
they ended up converting into a subscribe service like Apple Music or Spotify. Like it turned into one of those things. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it says in 2001, due to legal charges and challenges, they filed bankruptcy and closed down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He
but they later became Rhapsody. Rhapsody.
hmm.
So
I believe he had something to do with the creation of Facebook.
yeah.
I don't know if he kind of like helped push it forward. He didn't create it, but he
No.
he teamed up with what's his name, Zuckerberg, when it was like in its early stages of development. Have you ever seen that movie, the Social Media Network?
No, I haven't.
It's a good
Yet.
movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see it because there's so much that goes on that went on between our childhood to now, and like all that stuff like Facebook and everything. And now you have like 500 different app things, but I mean, think about it. Facebook was the first thing where everybody went to, and made the first communities on everything. So I mean, that was definitely something that's different, and then Google coming out. I mean, when Google came out, that changed the whole game plan on everything too. I mean, that made a big difference too, so
Yahoo was bigger than Google.
yes,
When
Yahoo
it
was
first came
definitely
out.
bigger than Google at
Yeah.
one point.
They I don't know what it was, if it was like an offer for a sale or to merge with a company or something like that, and they said no, they denied it. And by that move, they lost out on being the most like successful company.
See, now that would suck, that would really suck as you were starting, because like you said, at that point, they were huge. Yahoo had a lot. I mean, think about it. They had just kind of like AOL, they had their own, internet, and they had their own emails and everything. And I mean, that was big at that time. So, I mean, they pretty much lost out on a lot. They're
Yeah.
still out there now, but man, I mean, there's not many people go to them. I think Google is one of the bigger ones, Google and Apple, if you think about it right now,
Mm.
you know.
I don't have the story straight, but it had something to do where they had an opportunity to buy a company,
Okay.
but they didn't. And then a couple years later, no. They had an opportunity to sell the company or merge with a company. They didn't do it. A couple years later, it was more expensive for them to merge. They still had another opportunity. They didn't do it. And then they lost out on, Google came and stepped in and overtook it. So, it's kind of crazy.
It says they were Yahoo came about in 94. See, and that AOL was one of the bigger things at that time, But yeah, it says 2017, Yahoo was acquired by Verizon and merged with AOL at that time, becoming later Verizon Media. So, yeah, they couldn't compete with Google and decline in stock price, as it says back then in the 2000s. So, wow.
Yeah, there was a story where they had an opportunity to like expand and get bigger, and they refused it, and it cost them, obviously.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot, dude. I mean, they started to get big too. It says right here they just started to get big, but then here's where they rejected. Okay, you want to know who they rejected?
Yeah,
they were asked by Microsoft. Microsoft was going to buy them, and they rejected. And then pretty much at that point, a couple years later, that's when they went downhill and just pretty much that was it. So literally, Microsoft wanted to take them out, pretty much buy them and make a merge with them, but they didn't want that. So I mean that definitely hurt them real good. I mean, think about where they could have been if they would have stayed with Microsoft and went with
Mm.
Microsoft. I mean, yeah, they're still out there, but like I said, it's now owned by Verizon. So, I mean, it's not as big as Google, or Microsoft or Apple. A lot of things have changed. I mean, that definitely makes a big difference on that too. When you you get changed out. Do you if you were in this business still, JC, and another company approached you and wanted to buy you out, would you let them?
I mean, you have to look at it. You have to look at it to see if it's advantageous to you.
What if they're like they're a multi-million-dollar company. They're big, have like multiple crews. They want to bring you on because this happened to another guy I know. He's not far from me. He actually had a business for, I want to say like 12 years or something like that. And he pretty much, you know, got acquired, but he pretty much, got sold out. He sold out to another company. But he got a position to where he was still kind of in a bigger, higher executive role, to where he pretty much could get away from being, a lot of times he was that solo guy where he was out by himself because the guys didn't show up. But now he's in a position to where he's the executive. He doesn't have to be out on the field. I mean, do you take that position and take the requirement and say, I'm going to do it? Or do you say, I don't know?
That's not an easy question because it's unique. But the thing is, it's that old saying: if you can't beat them, join them. Join them. Um, you have to do what's best for you. And understand though, like sometimes bigger companies will offer to buy a smaller business, and sometimes it's wise to take it because if you don't, you're going to get outcompeted anyways, and maybe eventually shut down, like Yahoo and Google. But also too, you have to like look at the pros and cons. That's why it's not that easy to answer because if you do sell your company to a competitor and now you're part of that company, you got to understand you're no longer a business owner, you're an employee.
Right.
And you may have a better position or some type of managerial position, but at any given time they could say, hey, see you later, and fire you just like any other employee. So you have to look at it this way: is it like, if you keep your business, are you going to be able to survive, knowing that competition's there? Or would you rather take sell, merge, and then, live with the fact that maybe you might get fired someday? So, I don't know. I mean, it could be unique based off of the situation. Maybe it's a new company coming in that's new competition, or maybe it's a company that's always been around that's not new competition, and you've already been able to kind of stand your ground against them being there to compete against you. So, I mean, if you're failing, if you know your business is failing and you're in a rut, maybe it's a blessing,
Right.
But I don't know. I don't want to speak on advice if that's your situation because I'm not experienced in that sense. I'm just talking based off of what I think I would do in a situation like that.
Right. Right. It's always something. I mean, I think it's like you said, you got to kind of look at it. You got to kind of look at it two different ways. Do you want to be that person that could be, pushed out, because it's a bigger company, or do you want to be that person that, still is, working for somebody that, and you're in like a higher position, or do you want to be that person that, is still that guy that's running the company that you started that you want to continue to do? So, I mean, there's a lot of things with that too. So, I mean, I get it. There's always that ups and downs when somebody comes and approaches you about selling your business or buying you out or whatever. So, Red Rock is on Instagram. Red Rock Maintenance says, "Do you remember when the BlackBerry was the phone to use?
Yep.
Then iPhone took it over." Yeah,
Actually, I never had a BlackBerry, but I wanted.
I had one. That was like I think my second phone, because I remember literally when I was in high school, I was just amazed to have a pager right off the bat. Literally, I
Mm.
had a pager right when I.
Oh, you were one of those guys, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I had a pager right before I graduated, so it was like that was the first thing, and then then the first phones came out, and you had to pull the antenna out. I mean, I had one of those. That was my first one before I went to BlackBerry. So then it was very interesting. I'll say that much. But
I
yeah,
think I remember every single phone that I owned.
ooh, see, I can't remember all that.
Yeah,
See,
man. I think I remember every single phone that I owned.
jeez,
Yep. My very first phone was a voice stream phone, which later became T-Mobile,
okay,
and it was a Motorola phone. And it's funny enough, my sister got it from me. It was a prepaid phone. Then I had the Nokia, like the
okay,
famous Nokia that could like withstand an atomic bomb. Um, I had that. Then I had Sanyo, um, a Sanyo phone from Sprint. Then I had another Sanyo phone that was the first video camera phone that ever came out. Like it had a small screen in the front, and it took like 5-second videos or something. It was so short. Then I had, oh man, this is crazy. I'm listing every single phone that I had in order. Then I had a Motorola Q. I had an HTC, which was an Android based phone. Then I got I got the iPhone 4.
okay.
First iPhone, even though I was around when iPhone first came out. I got my first iPhone was the iPhone 4.
So you waited all the way to the 4 to get it?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
that's amazing.
You know why? It's because when iPhone came out, it was only available on AT&T.
I see.
Yeah, so it was only available on AT&T, and then I think once it was available, actually no, I switched to AT&T. Yeah, I switched to AT&T. Yep. And then soon after that, it was available to like Sprint and every other ones.
Everybody else, yeah,
But for a
yeah.
long time, it was only available to AT&T.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Rock says his first phone was iPhone 4 as well. It's his first iPhone. Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Think about it. We're at what, 15 or 16 now? So we've come a long way on the iPhones too. So it's
Mm.
I think phones have changed a lot and over the year. I remember the first long company I worked for. I was a crew leader, and we had the Nextel push to talks. So literally that thing was just it was when I before I started my business, I was like, man, I definitely once I start my business, I want one of these phones, because it was like, you could you could just talk back and forth between crews, but it kind of sucked because you know we were a all around year season job, so literally you have there was four crew leaders, two managers, and a the owner, and it was like middle of the night. It'd be 2-3 o'clock in the morning. It'd be snowing out, and you'd hear this. Hey, it's time to get up, guys. We got to go out. You got an hour before you got to be in. Get in here, hurry. And then you're like, seriously, like, I rather it just rang instead of it, push to talk at that point. After that, wow, it was definitely, that was the funniest things, but it was always funny to hear the conversations because that was between everybody. So literally you'd have all these crew leaders going back and forth, and you'd get that one, the manager that get pissed and would just go across the walkie talkie and be like, hey, so this guy, he messed up in this yard. He didn't weed whip it. Somebody needs to go back now or I'm going to kick his ass. So you better get somebody over there. And you're like, dude, I'm way over on the other side of town. Why do I have to hear your conversation with everybody else? Like, can't we just, go to one person, instead of everybody in the whole thing? Like, it was just funny as hell. Like, I even took a day off of work and literally I wasn't allowed to leave the phone at the shop. The phone always had to stay with me. So I had a day off of work one day. And luckily, they ended up firing two of the guys, one of the crew leaders, and they were close to my house. So I'm hearing this conversation go back and forth with the crew leader and the owner, and then the manager, and literally the crew leader is like, "F you, I'm leaving the keys here, I'm walking," and the manager's like, "If you leave that keys there, you're definitely fired." And the guy's like, I'm quitting. I don't give a shit. I'm leaving all your shit right here in the middle of this just road, and I'm walking." And I'm like, really? I got to hear this stuff going on. And then literally, it goes blank for a minute, and you're like, okay. And the manager's like, "Hey, are you going to pick up that phone? What's going on? Did you put your phone down?" And I'm like, dude, somebody left. He literally left. And so like 10 minutes later, I get the owner across there like, "Scott, last time I know he was at this job and it's literally right down from where you live. Are you at home?" And I'm like, "Dude, yeah, I'm at home." And he's like, "Can you drive down there and see if the truck's down there? And if so, can you bring it back to the shop?" And I'm like, "But I'm on my day off." He's like, "I know you're on your day off, but it would just be helpful if you can just drive the truck back. Like, I'll pay you extra, whatever. You just got to go back." Of course, yeah, the guy quit. He took both him and the guy that was with him, just literally walked off the job and just left everything down at the end of the street, and you're like, really? Like, what the heck? It was always fun to stuff. But yeah, I think phones have come to full circle. But I mean, there's so many apps nowadays that it's just funny that, when I first started and even when I worked with the first company, that literally there was no way to track jobs unless you were coming across like walkie talkie or calling. So it was always fun back then when I first started, even at that point, to where you had to write down a list and have a list. Because the first company I worked for, they printed out lists every day for us. And literally you'd have a list for the whole day. So you couldn't go ahead knowing that, you knew what the route was. After a couple of weeks, you knew exactly what the route was for the next day, but you weren't allowed to go ahead because you only had the 20 that were on your list of paper. So you could be like, "Okay, I clocked it in," and, I'd have to write down the times in and the times out. And I'm like, dude, this sucked. And, nowadays you can go on the job or any other CRM and click done, like it's so much has changed over the years, especially with the phones too, Phones are, you started, like you said, you started out with iPhone 4, and now it's all the way up to 15, 16. Like,
Yeah.
what's next? How fast are these phones going to get? They're just as fast as a computer. Some
They
of
are.
them,
Yeah.
they went from being big phones to small phones, and now they're trying to make them bigger to make them more compatible, to make, bigger screens and everything. So eventually are the phones going to get like almost to the size of some of these laptops, these Chromebooks?
I don't know. It's crazy, man. There's such thing as evolution and de-evolution. So it's like sometimes things like that happen. Like they evolve and then they go back to what they were before. But unpopular opinion, bro. Yeah, I have social media. Obviously, most of the people that recognize me know JC the Lawn Care guy, and I haven't been posting in a long time, over a year. I'm on there still, but I haven't been posting a lot of stuff. Not for any negative reasons. I just kind of took a break from stuff. But man, I think life was more fulfilling and life was happier. I don't want to sound like depressing or anything like that. But life was much better prior to cell phones, prior to internet. Like,
I feel like it's complicated now.
it's just, you know what it is? It's that we've become so used to instant gratification that, like, it's not it's because it's so easy and so instant that we don't appreciate it anymore. So as opposed to like when you waited for something back then and something happened, like it was like so like you were so enthusiastic, you were so excited, like you would save up for something, like you'd save
Right.
cash to buy something. Now, now you can just put whatever you want on a credit card, like the eh, we used cash back then. Like people now everything's digital. Like no one has $10 in their pocket anymore.
Right.
Um, like
Well, think
hanging
about
out
it.
with
A
you.
lot of them are trying to get it to where your phone pays for everything.
That's insane. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just
I'd rather have the cash or a card to pay for it than
yeah.
literally have to do it on my phone.
Dude,
You know
it's
what
like
I'm
let me put this in perspective, right? I don't have kids, but I know a lot of kids will, instead of going to visit their grandparents or their aunts or uncles, they'll just FaceTime them.
saying? Right.
And even though they don't live that far away, like they're so used to just that, like that's sufficient. For me, that's not sufficient. Like for me, like a physical hug, or just like being at grandparents' house or spending time like that, that's more meaningful. But people forgot that meaning. People forgot like how that feels. People just, it's the convenience aspect. And I was like, yeah, I saw grandma today. Well, did you see grandma today, or did you talk to grandma on the phone today? Did you
Right.
video grandma? It's like, man, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. But I think like if you look back and realize when you were a kid and before all this technology, like the simple things in life made you so happy.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It doesn't sound so depressing. Like I promise, that's not what I'm trying to portray.
No, I know you're not trying to
I'm
push.
reminiscing about the past and how awesome it was.
It's definitely changed. I'll tell you that. It's definitely changed since, you know, over the last couple years. I would say it's definitely changed. And I would say, like you said, sometimes, it's nice to have the instant gratification and all that, but I feel like it's easier to be able to enjoy the people that you want to be around too sometimes, instead of having that, oh, grandma just gave you $20 over Venmo, or she sent you a digital birthday card with, the code so you can get your Starbucks or something like that. No, I want to
Yeah.
see, I want to see her and actually go up and say, hey, what do you got for me, grandma? Instead of getting that digital wise,
Mm.
I
Yep.
think it's more satisfying. And that, even my kids right now are at that point where they'd rather go see their grandparents and get that money from them, instead
Mm.
of waiting around, for the card to come in the email or something like that, So, and I'm proud of my kids for that, where they want to be able to enjoy their time with their grandparents, and
Mm.
compared to just, oh, I'll just do it over voicemail, or I'll do, send them a picture, or Snapchat them or something like that. No, they don't want to do that. They want to actually see them. So
Mm.
that's always amazing. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. So that's the negative side of like some negative side of technology nowadays. It's like people forget the meaning of how it was before, or
yeah,
they
yeah,
think now it's the only way. Like, and you can't blame them because like now there's kids that were born and all, the first phone they've known is an iPhone. Like they never knew that life exists without one. There's a lot of things that they didn't realize life existed without. Um, but I think like people made it work. Society made it work. 80s and the early 90s. 70s. Like jobs still got done. People still made a living. Like people raised families. Like this technology that we have now, if I'm like Thanos and I snap my finger and it all went away, like we'd be lost. You know what I mean? But it's like because we rely on it so much, and I think if I were to able to do this without any negative consequences, obviously I say negative consequences because like, there's a lot of like medical stuff online that, people need and prescriptions need to be filled and like data is all on, on these systems for like businesses and doctors' offices and stuff like that, important stuff. But if I could do this and just kind of go back to like the way things were, like I would, I absolutely would.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think if we had a total, let's say, an EMP pulse go through, how do you think people would react? Like you said, a lot of people rely on that, their phones, their internet, their social media. How do you think they would react?
Well, why do you? I'm gonna answer that question by asking you a question. Why do you think digital warfare is a thing?
Because it because of that whole situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like people don't realize that war isn't just like battlefields and bombs and guns. Like war, is the shutdown of the electricity grid or the internet or communications and satellites and stuff like that. So like they know that a society um, cannot survive if that's instantly taken away from them, because it's like people don't know how to survive without technology because they've never known how to survive without technology. And to answer your question, I think people, yeah, that could be a downfall fall of society. Like um, everything's tied into the internet. You go to the gas station, your gas pump's tied into the internet. Your
Yeah.
electricity tied into the internet. Like everything. And it wasn't like that before. And we made it work. So
Yeah. I think it's.
damn, this is like turning into like depressive type of subject. I'm sorry, people.
I don't think it has. Come on.
It's not my intention, you know. Oh man, it's just I guess what it is when you're old, when you're getting to your mid 40s, you start to reflect on life and realize how good life was and how different it is now.
Yeah. It's. I think it's. Things have changed over the years, and I think somewhat we're going in a good position to advance our all these industries, but in a way, I feel that it's making people more dependent on internet, more
Mm,
dependent on AI now. Uh, like my daughter's getting ready to go to college, and there's certain classes that she can't use Chat GPT now for,
mm.
because they
That's
want
crazy. Yeah.
they want that actual interaction. They want actual words from the person that is putting it out there instead of going in and asking a computer what to do for it, which is a good thing because I think by using that Chat GPT, and using AI, you're going to be able to advance yourself into a position higher. But how do you know that when you get out into the real world, you know exactly what's going on? You don't. You're literally relying on them to, programs to help you out in advance. There is pluses to them, but I think that's one of the negatives that can really affect you in the
Mm.
long run. So
I agree with you 1,000%. That was very well said. Very
thank you.
well said. Very
Thank
well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally for it, but let's scale back just a little bit sometimes, okay?
Mm,
We don't always have to have them things. That's
mm.
what I would say.
Yeah. No, your point to that Chat GPT thing is it's real because it's like you're taking a Fiero and you're putting a Lamborghini body kit over it. Yeah,
Right.
it may look great, but you're not able to power that car.
No, 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 you're not going to be able to get up to them that top speeds, but
Mm,
all the time. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I think that, we can all, how do I say this? We can all advance each other and gain knowledge from each other more than we can from, Chat GPT. Yeah, their Chat GPT and AI is there to help us out, but I don't we should never totally rely on it for
mm.
everything. And I know there's a lot of people that are relying on it. And that, like you said, that's going to put you at that thinking that you're the Lamborghini when you're actually the Ferrero.
Mm.
So what do you do at that point?
Yeah, and the other thing too now, not now, it's always been happening. People emulate others, and you know, I guess if you know how to do it, creating content online is a lot easier now using AI.
Right.
and what happens is now everybody's content's the same.
Yeah.
Like, the shorts, the reels, everybody's copying each other. They're doing the same jokes. They're doing the same, you know, videos, just different people. They're doing like the challenges and stuff like that, and it's like it's the same stuff, and it's like over time it gets, like this is like I was just Scott and I were talking prior to be going on live, and I was talking about how I was on YouTube and watching like shorts, and the algorithms are just like there's always some stuff that you come across that's not any of your interests, or just things that are being kind of presented to you. And um one of them was like this girl that she just starts walking on a Lamborghini and smashes like stupid content, but yet how does this content make so many views? Like it's
The
just
one that I see all right now that's big is the people that holding something in their hand and like have it standing on something, with their legs crossed or whatever. Have you seen that one?
no, and I'm glad I haven't.
You'll, you'll see it. I'll send you one when I find it. But
Yeah.
it's like it's a lot of the girls that are going around doing it, and they're in high heels and they'll stand on, like, there's a couple that are standing on like the engine of a car, and they're just like holding like a glass of something and something in their other hand, and it's like, really, you
Yeah.
know. But there's so many people trying to copy that, and it's like, yeah, it's content, but it's like you said, you're copying their content. Everybody's trying to copy their content, trying to take their views and
Mm.
make them bigger.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it too is like people see an idea, it becomes popular, right? And then like we're talking about, others will copy it, try to get more views than the original video so that they could say that they were the ones that first came up with the idea.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah,
it's just dumb, man. Like I don't know, like, and forgive me for saying this. There's a lot of simpletons out there too, that will validate these stupid ideas on social media.
yeah.
Yeah.
So much, guys. Well, we're down to the end of the show, guys. So we want to thank you all for listening. Um, like it says up there, Josh needs Wi-Fi. So help donate some money for Josh because he needs to get some money. Hit me up. I'll give you my Venmo. You can send me some money for Venmo, and we'll turn around, give it to Josh, and maybe we can get him better internet, because if he doesn't have Wi-Fi, he can't join on, or he just talks like a robot.
Maybe
So
he's on to something. Maybe he's trying to limit he's doing internet detox. I don't know.
yeah, maybe he is. I mean, I think that's what's going on today. That's probably why he's not here today. I don't think it's the internet, maybe per se. Maybe he's just trying to do a detox of us.
Yeah.
I think
He's
that's maybe
trying to he's trying to stand on an engine and with heels on.
yeah, I can see him doing it too. Uh, but I want to thank everybody for watching us, listening to us. I know we've had a lot of people on Twitch. We've had a lot of people on Instagram today. Thank you guys. We had a couple people on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching us and listening to us. Definitely thank our sponsors. What do we have for sponsors? I can't
We
remember.
have partsdirect.com. We have Cujo. I'm sorry. We have
Cujo's Yardwear Shoes,
yeah,
and we
we
have
have Awesome Candle Company.
Awesome. See,
And
that's the awesome thing.
we also have another sponsor. It's the people that watch our show.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sponsoring us all and watching us. Continue to watch, listen to us. We want to be higher up in the rankings. But just having you guys watch us, listen to us, and let us know, commenting when you can. That's awesome. We enjoy that. So keep watching, listening to us, and we will see you guys all next week. Thank you, guys.